We're with Demon football coach Jay Thomas, whose team is 2-0 for the first time since 2007. Northwestern's 2-0. A dominating victory over the Southern Jaguars Saturday night, 55-14. Coach, did you, in your wildest dreams, begin to anticipate that you could be as dominant as you were Saturday night?
No, but you know our guys, man, they were really on fire for the game, and you know, it was such a great atmosphere all week leading up to the game. It was like it was a bowl game type atmosphere, playoff type atmosphere. It was really great. And I thought our guys really handled, we talked about it, handling the week last week. They did a beautiful job doing that. And then, of course, going into the game, you know, we had something that we had to prove. And I think that we were able to accomplish a lot of those missions that we had set out during the week to try to get done. So very proud of the team for being able to handle the week, handle the atmosphere, and stay focused, and then go out and play the game. And that was not anticipated. I was looking forward to it being a really close game, and we were preparing the team that way, coming down to the fourth quarter, down to the stretch, that type of deal. But our guys just really played outstanding in all three phases. Now, with that being said, we still have 1,000,000 miles to go, and but it's not a whole bunch of things that are broke that we got to fix. You know, we got to tweak some things here or there, and obviously there's, you know, in all three phases. You know, with our protection in our offensive line, we still got to get better there. We got to get better with our backs blocking. We got to get a little better, obviously, where we block downfield with our receivers. The receivers are getting penalties on effort blocks, you know, but we had a number of big plays that were called back, you know, holding type penalties that things we got to get cleaned up. You know, we had 13 penalties again in the game. A lot of that, I think, was trying to control the emotions in the game, penalties, that type of stuff, so it didn't get out of hand. Thought our players really handled the situation in the game very well, very professional. It's what we want to be. We want to play with a lot of class, obviously. But still an area that we got to continue to get better in. Thought our defense really showed up, really played well. Both offense and defensive coordinators did a tremendous job preparing both sides of the football. And then, of course, our kicking game was really, really good, all except for that one time. We ran down 10 times on the kickoff, and we were great 9 out of 10 times. You know, and just that one time we got out of whack. You can lend it to being a little tired, that type of deal, but, you know, we can't allow, even if we have to run down there 20 times, you still have to do your job correctly. But everything being said, it was really, you know, our team played really good as a team, and that's what we're trying to do. And we're taking the motto, rise together, and that's the way we're looking at it. Every man has a job. And when we go through the week, the guy that's running scout teams or look teams is understand that your job is extremely important to prepare the guys to get ready. One day, you'll be on the other side, and you'll be playing, and there'll be other guys that'll be doing the same thing. So it's part of the process.
Your team has had 2 really good first halves so far. Defensively, a ton of 3 and outs in the first half. Offensively, a lot of production, not as many points at Missouri State as certainly you had against Southern. Now you're stepping up in class in terms of playing an FBS team and a team that's coming off 4 straight bowl appearances, including the Sugar Bowl and Orange Bowl for the seniors on this team. They've been involved with those programs. So Cincinnati presents a formidable task. But before we talk about Cincinnati, talk about the adversity you're going to face when, let's just say, you may not have a pile of 3 and outs and you may not have a lot of yards in that first half, and how your team will handle that.
Well, we'll prepare our team for it, and our guys will understand we're stepping up a class. There's no doubt about that. But we're going to approach it with the same mindset. We're going to come up with a really good game plan where our guys understand. We're going to make sure that we're rotating our guys so we can stay fresh. If there's long drives, we'll continue to move, our defensive line, linebackers, secondary, we'll start changing those guys out so we can stay fresh. And because they do have more scholarships than we do, their depth is a lot deeper than our depth. So we'll have to be very, very smart. I've had to manage these type of games before, and I've taken the same approach in all these games. It's really great opportunity for our guys to step up a class, and then it really gives us another measuring stick to see where we are heading towards conference. I really love playing these games, so it's going to be a great atmosphere for our guys to go. Like you said, these guys have had a lot of success in the years past, but guess what? They put their pants on just like we do, all right? And we're just going to line up and we're going to do what we do. It may be we may have a few more 3-and-outs on offense, and they may get a few more first downs. But we just got to be patient, play within ourselves. Don't get overexcited about it. Let's just go play and let's push this thing to the fourth quarter and let's see what happens.
What are the things you've liked most about your team through 2 games?
I tell you what, it comes down to maturity and how much we've really grown as a team in that area. It's been really amazing to watch them progress. And we're still not there yet, but the way we're handling our pregame and, we had a sudden change in the locker room before the game. The week before was no air conditioning in the locker room. This week, we wanted to wear purple on purple. Well, I didn't know the purple pants didn't match with the purple jersey. So the players came up and said, Coach, we don't look right. So we go down and, all right, well, we switched to the white pants in pregame. No big deal. Everybody turn your purple pants in. We'll put the white pants on. I didn't know they didn't match. So no big deal. Everybody just switched out. It was nice. It was smooth. We go out for pregame. We did a little something different in pregame. We came out with no shoulder pads on. It was something that I've done in the past with the heat, that type of deal. And you're getting a couple of things done during that time. One, you're keeping your guys fresh. You're keeping their core temperature down. How I am about the scientific end of a lot of things. But it kept our guys fresh going into the locker room. Now they can put the shoulder pads on, get ready to go. There are some concerns with that. You don't get to bang a little bit and get shoulders warmed up. So we explained to the players, hey, you still got to come out hot and be ready for contact. But our guys really bought into it. I think they enjoyed that type of warm-up. It was very fresh. It was crisp. And so it's a little different. And, we wasn't trying to one-up anybody, but just trying to be smart and get our guys ready to play because we knew it was going to be extremely hot. And I think everyone across the South has been dealing with heat. I'm talking to other coaches, how they're approaching, how they're managing it with their teams. And, and I'm hearing from other coaches, man, even the fans are having to deal with the heat right now across the nation. But hopefully we get a little break. We understand the weather's going to be a little cooler in Cincinnati. I think it's going to be like 47 Friday night. Man, that's going to be like wintertime for us. And then I think kickoff time around 71. But just in case, we're still going to pack our fans. We're going to make sure that you never know what kind of locker room, that type of stuff you're going to have. But everything went really good. Our equipment staff did a great job. It goes back all week, man, from our athletic director is out there painting the stadium during the week. So it was, we got this saying, it's not about one coach or one player. We're all in it together. Jeremy Vitt, who's our facilities manager, did a tremendous job preparing the stadium. We had all the other sports coming out, painting the stadium. We want to thank them for all their help. Boy, the stadium just looked great. The tailgating area looked fantastic. The practice area looked great out there. I mean, it was just all around just a really great event this weekend.
All right, looking ahead to the Cincinnati Bearcats and a program that's been very successful, new head coach who's been very successful with Coach Tuberville, a guy who's their defensive coordinator, Art Kaufman, who a lot of Demon fans have high regard for, and a great challenge for any football team, ask Purdue.
Yeah.
and talk about what you see from Cincinnati Bearcats.
They have tremendous staff. That's where it starts. Coach Tuberville, obviously, a big name in our business and our profession, and he's been very successful everywhere he's been. He has that way of getting those things done, and like I said, Coach Kaufman, they got a number of guys that we are very familiar with, and we know that they're excellent coaches, but they have really good players too. And, just a little bit that I've been able to see them on tape so far, very well coached, very sound, very good athletes. So you're going to have to get, defensively, we're going to have to get our hats where they need to be. We're talking in coaching terms here now. So we're going to have to make sure that we get our hats where they need to be. We still need to keep our same MO, the purple swarm. We got to swarm the ball. We got to be around. If one guy's there missing the tackle, the next guy needs to be there, and then the next guy needs to be there. And we've gotten a lot better in that area. It showed a lot this past weekend, getting there. And we talked about taking the big step, all right, from week 1 to week 2. We took a gigantic step in a lot of different areas, not only schematically, running the schemes, but effort-wise was tremendous across the board in all 3 phases of our game. But you see the fundamentals, the carryover from practice into the game. So we did make that big step. And then, of course, when you're playing for a game like Cincinnati, it's a different brand of football. Now your offensive linemen, they're all 6'5", 6'6" that you're rushing on. But our offensive line is pretty good too, and we have height and size, and so our guys are used to lining up against those kind of guys. So our line of scrimmage is going to be, once again, very, very important because we got some older guys there, and you go into this type of ball game, that's where you got to have your experience, and it's going to start there for us once again. And Cincinnati, obviously this week, it's going to be, the motto is, we're getting ready to set out on a journey. And over the next 2 weeks, it's going to be a journey. And we got 2 big opponents, Cincinnati this week and then UAB the next week. So, the way we look at it, you look out there on the horizon and you're sitting on this journey and you're getting ready to pack your horses and your mules. You want to make sure you got plenty of food and water. And as you look out there, there's 2 huge mountains ahead of you. All right. Well, we're just going to make sure we have enough provisions, and we're going to go climb this first mountain and get to the top, and then we'll come down the other side, and then we'll focus on the next mountain. All right. And just got to stay with what we do. Just make sure we're handling our business, taking care of ourselves. We're going to be very smart how we practice this week. And we're going to make sure our guys are fresh and ready. It's going to be a plane trip. First time we've been on a plane. So we need to win the plane trip and go and enjoy and relax and then get up Saturday and let's get ready to play football. So it ought to be a great atmosphere. Looking forward to it. It ought to be highly competitive.
All right, one thing specifically about Cincinnati is our last question. Clearly they're going through a change at quarterback with the terrible injury that they suffered last week. The other quarterback will be the starter, did play last week. Talk about how that changes your preparation, not having a lot of tape on the quarterback who will be playing Saturday night.
Well, I'll tell you what, you never want to see a young man get hurt, ever. And it's very unfortunate. And we send out our best wishes towards him. And because it was not a real pretty one. And but it does change somewhat. And they've been playing both quarterbacks a lot, so it's, the other quarterback is that we're probably potentially going to get to see. He can still run the football. He runs the offense very efficiently. He has a very good arm. He's very accurate. And everything with them starts with their offensive line. They're really big, very mobile. They got really good skilled receivers. They got a running back that he gets behind the big guys. You can lose him in there. You got to make sure you gapped out up front, hold your gap continuity up front. But I would think that their game plan may change a little bit and into more of keeping tight ends in for protection. The run game probably they do like to run the football. They try to power football a little bit. So I would expect, with their size and then, of course, trying to match up with us, try to move the football in that regard with him.
All right. Thanks, Coach. Good luck.
Appreciate it. Thank you, brother.
Absolutely. We're with senior defensive end Keelan Johnson of the undefeated 2-0 Northwestern State Demons. Keelan, the team's performance Saturday night against Southern, let's talk about that for just a moment. Assess what the team overall did to blow out the Southern Jaguars.
Well, we just came out and executed our plans. We was really up for this game. It was really hyped up to be a pretty big game, and we just executed our plans to come in and just do our best and do our job.
Did it surprise you that you guys were so dominant? You had 5 of the first 6 possessions were 3 and outs for your defense. Offensively, 4 straight touchdowns, 31-0 lead with 10 minutes left in the first half. Did that surprise you, or did you think that was within reach if everything went the way you hoped?
It didn't surprise me. It was in plan, put it that way. I mean, we once you practice it every day, it becomes just natural to you. So I expected that out of our offense. So everything just was in cohesive with everybody, and everything was pretty normal. So I expected that out of them.
All right, 2 games in, 2 wins against FCS opponents. Tell me what you've learned about this team over the 2 weeks in the preseason.
That we fight through adversity a lot, and we know how to overcome, and we see now that we can be pretty dominant. And from this day forward, we just gotta be sure that we just be more, just not be complacent whenever we, knowing that we are 2-0, that this is another game coming up, and not just because it's a big game just because it's the next game, not just because it's a D1 opponent. But we just got to know how to just make sure we go through our daily routine and just be humble about ourselves, and we'll be okay.
All right. You referenced playing another division in terms of an FBS team. In fact, we'll be playing 2 FBS teams back-to-back in Cincinnati and UAB. Going against Cincinnati, a team that's played in the Sugar Bowl, played in the Orange Bowl during the careers of some of the seniors on this team, a team that's come off 4 straight bowl wins or bowl games. What about the challenge that presents this football team this week?
I mean, Cincinnati, they are a pretty good team, and being that you said they're playing a lot of bowl games, and I've seen them several times on TV. It's just going to be a tough challenge for us because, it's going to be a lot of rotating with them, and being that we have a small number of people, it's going to be pretty hard. But we're going to go out there, we're going to give our best. So it's going to be a tough challenge, but everything's going to be okay.
We're with junior offensive lineman Austin Douglas of the Demons, the undefeated 2-0 Northwestern State Demons. Austin, you've had an opportunity now over these first 2 weeks and your time in preseason camp to assess this team. After watching the game against Southern, after being very involved with it with over 50 snaps, what are your impressions of this Northwestern football team?
We have we've got a really good football team. I believe we've got some depth at some positions. We've these last couple games we've played. I think Saturday we played 14 offensive linemen. So I think that really says something. We really opened up the depth in every position. I think we've been playing really good ball these last 2 games.
What is it that has this Demon offense second in the nation in first downs? You had 30 on Saturday night. You had 25 in the first one. Eastern Washington's the only other team in the FCS to have stacked up that many first downs in 2 games. Why is it working so well?
We've got a great guy calling plays in Coach Brown, and we've got great coaches around us, Coach Norton, Coach Manley, Coach Foster, really doing a great job with the position guys, and really getting it down. And Coach Brown just, he knows offense. He's going to call the right plays at the right time. We've got full confidence in him, and he's got full confidence in us. So, it's really working out.
From a standpoint of the players who are scoring, making catches, running with the football, there's not one person who you can say, hey, we need to watch him and contain him, because a lot of guys have contributed. How does that help you guys up front as the offensive line in terms of knowing what can be possible with his offense?
Oh, it's great. You know, you keep the defense on their toes at all times. You've got two groups of receivers, you know, that are going to come in and they're going to make plays. It's not just one group going to stay in all the time, and then the defense have to, you know, kind of lay back because that one group's out. But, you know, we've got 3 or 4 running backs that are going to run the ball really hard. So it's a big help. It's really awesome.
Let's talk about Cincinnati, and first from your perspective, having come from the Southeastern Conference school where you were in preseason, and having played in junior college at a high level with a lot of guys who've gone on to FBS programs, you're a little bit more uniquely positioned than some to talk about playing from an FCS standpoint against an FBS team. Talk about that challenge for the Demons this week.
You know, I think we're up for the challenge. You know, I just got done watching some film with Coach Norton a while ago, and you know they're a good team. But I mean, just like us, they put their pants on one leg at a time, and I think we've got a good opportunity, a good chance of beating them. We're gonna practice our butts off this week, and we're gonna go in with a mindset to beat them.
You've got 2 straight games now against FBS teams after having, handled 2 FCS teams, certainly dominated Southern on Saturday night. Talk about the mind frame that you need to take to Cincinnati this week to have that opportunity to be successful.
We've just got to keep our momentum going. We've got to keep our tempo going. You know, we just need to go in with a spark to know, you know, we're gonna light this thing up, and we're gonna go in with a mindset to beat these guys. Not just because they're an FBS school. We're not gonna, you know, lay down and say, oh, they're gonna beat us anyway because they're FBS. We're gonna go in with a mindset to beat them.